Okay, so we paralleled that with Revelation 13, and let's just look very quickly at the parallels. We talked about, and Revelation 13 talks about how they would arise a beast that came up out of the earth. And we saw in Revelation 13, that is the United States of America. And that this beast or this government would have power in the sight of the first beast of Revelation 13, which we saw was the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns that was made up of animals of lion, bear, and leopard. We saw that as the government and religion of the Roman Catholic Church. The government of the Roman Catholic Church and the religion of the Roman Catholic Church. The government is the Vatican City, is the government. And the religion, of course, is the Roman Catholic Church, both headed by a man they call the Pope. The only government church there is in the earth. People are, and I always point this out, people say, well, what about Islam? That's a government church. No, it's not the same. Even though you have countries in the Middle East that follow what they call Sharia law and are following Islam, Islam is not led by one man, as the Roman Catholic Church is. It's not led by one man. It's not have power consolidated in one position so that the entire world church is under one man and the government of the nation is under one man. It's not, there's no other situation like that on planet Earth. And so we saw in Revelation 13 last week that you had the United States of America that was really in the sight of or under the control of Rome. And that the United States of America, as Rome, the Bible said about Rome that it worked, that the dragon gave it its power, seat, and great authority. The dragon is what made it a world power. The dragon is what made it a government state situation, a church state scenario. That is the devil. Because we know that from what we've studied in the Bible, the devil is looking for worldwide worship. He's looking for people of the world to worship him because he wants to be considered a god. And the pull that he uses is he uses deception and lies. And one of his main lies and deception that he uses is the promise that a man can be God. As he promised Adam and Eve, he said, you could be as gods. He continues to promise that to the earth today. And he makes human beings think that they are gods. He makes them exalted. In fact, he calls them stars. He has people call each other stars. And he makes them objects of worship to other people. The same dragon, the Bible says, is in the United States. He's in the lamb-like beast of Revelation 13. The Bible says he looked like a lamb. That is the government of the United States, looked like a lamb, which means it had principles that made one think it was like the lamb or like the Messiah or Christian. But he spake as a dragon, which means it was really a dragon in lamb's clothing, if you will. And this nation would use its worldwide power and influence to cause the earth to create a government system modeled after Rome, where you have one man in power, so you have a church-state situation. So what's going to happen there is the United States of America is going to lead the earth in a movement where the Pope is the head of the world church, and he's the head of his government, and it's called an image to the beast. Okay, image to the beast, which means the beast has the church-state government, and then the world will also follow it in a church-state government. So now we turn to Daniel 3, and we saw create a literal statue and demanded that everybody bow down to this statue. The statue was created in his honor because he was trying to claim to be a god. And he had all the leaders of all the provinces of his kingdom come to the dedication of this statue. And then when they got there, he demanded that they worship the statue. And that's where we left off. So you have the government led by one man in Babylon, Daniel 3. That government was led by one man, and he had the world. He was going to force the world to worship him by worshiping his statue. It's just so. At the end, we have the government's going to be led by one man. It's going to be the Rome. It's going to be Pope. And he's going to have people worship the image of him, which is going to be forced upon the people by the Christian church. The Christian church. And that's why we say the whore of Revelation 17 is the Romish church. And the harlots, the Bible says she's the mother of harlots. All the harlots are every Christian church on the earth. Every Christian church that's a 501c3 corporation is one of the harlots. One of her children. One of the harlots' children. Every single one manifests the spirit of Rome. Every single one manifests the spirit of Rome. That. But if they really honor themselves and they knew the scriptures, they would know that every single one of these churches, every single one, it doesn't matter what denomination it is, all of the various denominations of Christendom are Babylon. And they all follow the dictates of Rome. And the Pope is the head of all of them. All of them. All of them. Okay? So, we go back to Daniel 3, and we see that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whose real name was Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, refused to worship Nebuchadnezzar's image, or being obedient to the covenant of the Most High Yah. The covenant of the Most High Yah starts off by saying, I am Yahweh, the Most High, that led thee forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or in the earth beneath, or in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh, Most High, am a jealous God. So because of that version, because of that covenant, which is broken commonly into 10 commandments, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, being Hebrews captive in Babylon, would not worship the Babylonian gods. And they would not worship the image that Nebuchadnezzar set up. They were going to be faithful to the covenant, even if it meant death, because Nebuchadnezzar had said, if whoever does not bow to his image is going to die. Just like Revelation 13, where it says, whoever does not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Revelation 13:15. And that's where we're headed, brothers and sisters. We're headed to a situation where you're going to have the Pope of Rome is going to set up a palace. He's going to set up a kingdom, not a kingdom, but he's going to set up a seat for himself in Jerusalem. They're going to probably rebuild the temple in Jerusalem and claim that the Most High Yah is there like he was in ancient times. And those fake so-called Jews from Eastern Europe are going to claim that this means that they are the chosen people. They are fake. They're not the chosen people. They are working together with Rome to create this facade, this worldwide hoax, because they're not Semites at all, but children of Japhet, the third son of Adam, from Eastern Europe, posing as Hebrews, calling themselves Jews. So, that's where we are. So here Nebuchadnezzar is angry. And he's going to want to kill Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah because they won't worship his gods. They will be faithful to the covenant. And brothers and sisters, that's what it's going to come down to for us. Life or death. Either we will stay faithful to the covenant of the Most High and be under the death sentence of the earth. Or we will worship the beast and his image, as the majority of the earth will. 99.9% of the population of planet Earth will receive the mark of the beast. 99.9. That 0.1% won't, and will be under the death penalty. And the rest of the folks are going to want to kill the faithful few. And somebody said, "Well, that's ridiculous. It's not going to be that few people." Well, look, if you're actually looking at the Bible, right? We know that if you look at the Bible and you see the population of planet Earth before the flood, men living 800 and 900 years and having sons and daughters the whole time, it's very easy to see that there were millions of people on the earth at that time. Okay, and only 8 people, including Noah, were on board the Ark of Safety. Here in Daniel chapter 3, he has people from 120 different provinces, and he gives us a list. It says judges and counselors and treasurers and sheriffs and rulers and governors from all of these provinces were out there, and only 3 decided they're not going to bow to the image, even if it means death. So there's always going to be a very small group of people, very small, that stand firm for the truth. And that's why, brothers and sisters, we can know right now, don't even think about any of these denominations being saved. First of all, the Most High is not saving 501c3 corporations from destruction. They're all going to be destroyed. He's saving people. And there's not going to be a lot of people, because the Bible continually shows us only a remnant, a small group of people. And you say, well, who are these small group of people? Well, they could be you. If you decide to just follow the truth according to sincerity, conscious truth, you can follow that and you'll be saved. But if you go against your conscience, you violate your conscience because you want to keep your job, or you want to survive, or you want to protect yourself from death, so you violate your conscience, you violate what you believe to be true. No, you can't make it. You can't make it, and you won't make it. So few are there on planet Earth that will stand according to their conscience for the truth. So few. Okay. So here, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah refuse. And let's start there. Let's start tonight's study at that point where we stopped. Daniel chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3. Let's start at verse 8 and go down to verse 12. This is just, again, part of a review of what we did last week. Thank you, Sister Lee. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship it, that he should be cast in the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Notice they broke this down. The Chaldeans, who were servants to Babylonians, Chaldeans. They broke it down. They said there are certain Jews, and they said these are people you have set up. They're in your government. They don't worship your gods. So this is even before this image. They're making reference to the fact that these guys, they don't worship Babylonian gods at all. Then they said, not only don't they worship your gods, but they're not worshiping this image either. They're not bowing down to this image. Now, Nebuchadnezzar was familiar with these guys, because if you recall, in the beginning of the prophecy of Babylon we read, Daniel had decided he wasn't going to defile himself by eating unclean food, the unclean food of Babylon. Because the Bible did show us, and it shows us in the book of the law, Deuteronomy, that part of being a holy people unto the Most High, it shows us that it's what we eat. Part of it is what we eat. And let's look at that. Because that's going to come into play again. So let's look at this. Deuteronomy, which is Adabarim, the book of the law. Deuteronomy. These be the words. Deuteronomy chapter 13. Actually, Deuteronomy chapter 14. Deuteronomy chapter 14. Notice what the scripture says in Deuteronomy chapter 14. I'm going to read verse 1 and I'm going to read verse 2 and verse 21. Verse 2 and verse 21 of Deuteronomy chapter 14. Yes, Hebrews, it would be the correct translation. Exactly, Sister Catherine. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy most high. And Yahweh hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Ye shall not eat anything that died of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat. Or thou mayest sell it unto the alien. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy most high, in his mother's milk. So he starts off telling them they're holy unto him, and therefore they're not going to eat any abominable thing. He's chosen him above, notice he says, he's chosen them above all the people of the earth. He chose these Hebrews above all the people of the earth. So all men are not created equal, apparently. But he says they are not, because they're holy, they're set apart for him. They're not going to just eat anything. And let's look at Deuteronomy also, chapter 11. Deuteronomy chapter 11. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 44 and 45. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 44 and 45. I'm sorry. Let us read from verse 44 down to 47. I'm sorry. Leviticus chapter 11, from verse 44 to 47. I'm sorry. Leviticus chapter 11, from verse 44 to 47. Notice what it says. For I am Yahweh, your most high. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile ye yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am Yahweh, that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt, to be your most high. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the law of the beasts, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moveth upon the waters, and of every creature that creepeth upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten. So he's given in prior to this, he gave them the list of things that should not be eaten. And he tells them to be holy, for he is holy. See, so it's about holiness. Putting stuff in your body that's disgusting, or that he tells you not to eat, is making yourself unholy. And then people in the New Testament say, well, Jesus changed that because he made all foods clean. That is a Gentile way of looking at what we call the renewed covenant. The renewed covenant does not change the Most High's law. What it does is amplify his law. It goes deeper, actually, what it does. But to the Gentile that's created a whole religion called Christianity and says it's a New Testament religion and make it a white Jesus and pork eating and all that foolishness, those people, there's basically, they're telling you there's two different gods. There's one of the Old Testament and one of the New Testament, which is very confusing and ridiculous. But when we look at this as Hebrews, as Israelites, we understand it's the same God. It doesn't change. Okay? It says very plainly, I change not. And so he doesn't tell you a pig is unclean in Deuteronomy, only to make it clean when the Messiah walked the earth. Makes no sense, and it's not what the situation is. So Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah were with Daniel and made themselves plain to Nebuchadnezzar in Daniel chapter 1. And then we saw that Daniel also interpreted Nebuchadnezzar's dream, showed him what he was thinking, what he dreamt, that the Most High showed it to Daniel. And again, he promoted his three friends with Daniel. So he was familiar with these guys, and he knew that they weren't worshipers of Babylonian gods. He saw them stand for principle before. But this was different because this was a situation where that is Nebuchadnezzar the king was going to force everyone to worship the way he wanted them to. That's real key, brothers and sisters. That's really key. We have to understand it. People at the end of time will be forced to worship the way Babylon wants you to. See, right now, and it's only going to be a force applied to the remnant because everybody else is going to comply and cave to the powers that be, because that's what people do now. You think people really protest now about these things? They don't. They really don't, because that's why the devil has a big net, and he uses all of these Christian churches. What, you don't like the Jehovah's Witness one? Go, okay, you got the Mormon one, you got the non-denominational one, you got the Baptist one, you got the SDA one. Which one do you want? Which one of the whores do you want to join? Because he got one for everybody. Okay, got one for everybody. And so people aren't protesting now at all against Rome. Not really. No. They're still acknowledging it as the head, and the media teaches you to do the same thing. Every time Rome makes a move, every time the Pope goes anywhere, it's all over the news, right? When there's a new Pope, the whole world watches as they choose the new Pope. Well, how does the whole world watch? Because the media is controlled by the Jews and by the Catholics. They control the media. And so they have all the television stations zeroed in on Rome. And they have all these thousands and millions of people looking to see who the new Pope's going to be. So they got the earth worshiping the dragon and the beast. But again, there's going to be a remnant that keep faithful to the word. This is it, brothers and sisters. The Bible is constantly going to be under attack, and particularly within the Bible, the covenant of the Most High is under attack, and the Messiah is under attack. Okay? Because the Messiah, Yahushua, who they call Jesus Christ, is the image of his Father. He is the express image of his Father's person. That means he represents the Father. He came to this earth representing the Father. And his Spirit, which is the Spirit of the Father, baptizes us and causes us to be faithful to the covenant which is the Ten Commandments. And so the Ten Commandments are under attack, and the Messiah is under attack. What do you mean under attack? I mean, they're lessening his representation of the Father. There are people that just say he was a prophet. There are people that say he was created. There are people that say he didn't die on the cross. There's people that say all kinds of things. Joseph was his father. All kinds of things. And of course, the Ten Commandments are under attack by all the Christian churches because they focus people in reading just the New Testament. Don't read the Old Testament. It's done away with. It's the Old Covenant. It's called the Old Testament. Well, really, it's the covenant. It's really what it is. And the New Testament is really the renewed covenant. That's what it is. They're renewing the same covenant. But most people don't read the renewed covenant or the words of the new covenant. And so they think it's two different gods, and they have people just avoiding the entire Old Testament. Even the Sabbath really focus on the Old Testament. They just focus on the seventh-day Sabbath, but they're not really focused on the words of the prophecy. See? But the true people of the Most High are going to take this whole Bible and keep it and be faithful to it. Genesis to Revelation, the whole thing. They will understand that it's just one thing. It's not like two different gods. They will understand that the covenant is one covenant. They will follow the Messiah because through the Messiah they receive complete forgiveness of all their sin and power over sin. That's it, brothers and sisters. That's the proof in the pudding. Power over sin, so that through the Spirit of the Most High, through his powerful Spirit, they walk in his law and obey it. Right. So now Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah refused to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar's image. And we take this up, Daniel chapter 3, verse 13, from verse 13 down to verse 15. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same out into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that Elohim that shall deliver you out of my hands? See, brothers and sisters, this second part, I titled this "The Conversion of a Babylonian," because this is the beginning of the conversion of Nebuchadnezzar right here. I mean, really, see, he has already seen Daniel in action. You notice Daniel's not here in Daniel chapter 3. He's not there. Why? Because Nebuchadnezzar knew better than to mess with Daniel. He knew better. I don't know if he sent Daniel away, but Daniel's not here. Because he knew Daniel had interpreted that dream. He knew better. And he knew Daniel served a powerful Most High. In fact, he had people light incense to Daniel as if Daniel was a god. Because that's what pagans do, brothers. That's what pagans and Gentiles do. They quit to worship man. Quit. Give man honor and glory. Boy, they'll do that quick. Quick. So when Daniel showed him what his dream was and interpreted, he bowed down to Daniel. He lit incense. He had people light incense and odors to him and worship him like he was a god. He wasn't messing with Daniel. But his three friends, he was going to try to force. But you see, that's what I'm saying. Nebuchadnezzar was a Gentile, a pagan. So he giving honor to man. So he giving honor to Daniel, but he's going to try to force his friends, not understanding that it's the same Father. They all worship the same Most High and had the same spirit of righteousness upon them. And we're going to be faithful to the same covenant, all three of them. See, that's the mistake they're going to make with us at the end. You see, prior to this, the government, especially the government of the United States, but the puppets of Rome, they know how to put out movements. You see, they started this Protestant movement in Europe, and they killed off all the leaders of the Protestant movement, and they killed the movement. It really did kill the movement. You know, they had William Tyndale and John Huss and Zwingli, all them Europeans that were following the truth best they could. They had all them killed, burned at the stake, and they started killing and then they created the Jesuit order to infiltrate all of this Protestant movement, and they were successful. They had all of these churches that broke off from Rome, really now returning to Rome. Church system, structure created by Rome. All of these Christian churches follow that same structure. Follow the same structure. 501c3 corporation. All of them. They do it for the money. So they have everybody, and so they've learned if they can cut off the head, they can cut off a leader, they can stop a movement. They did it again among the black people. They kill off the leaders, stop a movement. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, they kill them off, stop the movement. Black Panthers started a movement, kill them all, stop the movement. You see, because they learn, they focusing on man. But see, with the 144,000, it's not so. Not so. With the people like Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, it's not so. Why? Because you can't stop a spirit. You can't. You can kill the flesh, but you can't kill the spirit of the Most High Yah. You just can't do it. So the spirit will come from one, go to another. You might kill one, the spirit go to another and inspire them, and they're going to move forward. And you're going to think because, the man thinks because there's few of them, there's only a few of them, here there's only three. Problem real quick. And that's going to stop that movement. That's why, brothers and sisters, we don't put our trust in man. We put our trust in the word of the Most High Yah and in the Most High Yah Spirit himself. We don't put our trust in man. Because that's what Gentiles do. That's what pagans do. They put their trust in man. They think that man must lead the movement. Israel understands that the invisible Most High leads the movement. And that his spirit leads the movement. And nothing can stop his spirit. Nobody. You can kill flesh. You can't kill his spirit. See? Especially when he's in it. When he's in the movement, you can't stop it. And so here, Nebuchadnezzar has these three people that are protesting his movement. They're protesting. And he's figuring, okay, I'm going to kill y'all, and that's going to be the end of that. Representing 144,000. Nebuchadnezzar is representing modern Babylon, which is Rome and the United States and all the whores that are with Rome. And so now he's mad. He's mad because they wouldn't bow, and he's in now everybody's watching. So he's a king. He's angry, and he's telling you. And now you know what? When people get power, and this is the thing, brothers. This is politics. Politics is a seeking of power. That's all politics is people seeking power over other people. That's what politics is. It's like governments are seeking power. Okay, government is not just for organization. Government is about power. Okay, and every government is about power, whether it's the Most High's government or some of these all of these earthly government is about power. The Most High is power. Power is the Most High. So he's supposed to be in power. He's the creator. But men fighting for power, that's what you got on earth. There's presidential elections and all these elections, and it's all about power, man. It's all about power. And when people are seeking power, they are God. You see? It makes sense. They start to think they're God because you see, the Most High, the creator, he is power. And he is God, right? He can create something out of nothing. You can kill a person, he can bring him back. Because he is power. All right? So man is trying to get that because the devil then promised him you could be a God. So they, of course, following that doctrine that man could be God, they're going to seek power. And so when they think they got some, they think they're God. And that's why Nebuchadnezzar made this statement. He said, and who is that God, that Allah Ye, that could deliver you out of my hands? See, because he figured he was God. And that's what you got right now. You got powerful governments, and they got nuclear warheads and tanks and guns. Man, they got all kind of weapons at their disposal. And who is that God that could deliver you out of our hands? That's the way they're going to be saying. That's what they're going to be thinking. They control the currency. See, brothers and sisters, look. Anybody on this earth that really believes they can get rich with Federal Reserve notes is a fool. I mean, a straight up fool. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care how many hundreds of millions they were. It's all paper and credit. And that mess, just as quickly as they printed it, it could be taken from you, man. People don't get that. I see people out here saying, well, we need to create black wealth in the black community. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Don't fall. Brothers and sisters, don't fall for this get rich gospel stuff, man. Don't fall for that. The dollar says Federal Reserve note on it. They ain't got first off, we understand, right, that the European came to the United States of America and made treaties with the Indian, killed him, took his land and broke the treaties. You understand that, right? I mean, you do understand that, right? They came to this land from Europe, made treaties with the Indians, killed the Indians, took their land, broke the treaty. Is that true or not? And right now they're out there in North, South Dakota somewhere, getting ready to take Indian land that they done gave to the Indian. They're ready to take it back because they found out some oils out there and there's some more money to be made. Right? It's not just here. Happened in Australia. They went down to Australia smiling at them Aborigines, killed them, took the land, went down to South Africa, found the land was beautiful and good, killed the natives, took the land. Did the same thing in Brazil, all the islands, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, same thing, man. Europeans everywhere. Killed the natives, took the land. Every place. All right? So that means they don't keep no treaties. They don't have to keep their word. They don't have to keep their law. Okay? They don't. And anybody thinks that dollar bill says Federal Reserve note, man. It could be worthless tomorrow. And even if it is worth something, they printed it. That's Caesar's money. That's Caesar's stuff. Most High's Messiah said, render unto Caesar the things that's Caesar. That's his money right there. That's his currency. Just because you think you piling up a bunch of it somewhere, don't mean he can't take it from you in a moment. And you know what? They all really know that. So don't really think you can get rich in this earth. That's why Messiah said, you can't love the Most High and money. You can't. You can only have one or the other. And all these people that have all this money out here now, if you're gonna be saved, you're gonna have to get rid of it. It's gonna come to that in these last days. You're not gonna be rich in this world's goods and walk into the kingdom. It's not gonna happen. Either you're gonna give up all the loot you got, because this is what's gonna come down to, or you're gonna keep your loot and be lost. That's what it's gonna come down to. And I'm not saying people should be giving it up now, because you got con men out there. I remember 2008, right? You guys remember? Y'all remember 2008 when all of these con men, these religious con men from these Christian churches, they had people from different churches, SDA churches, Baptist church, telling them it's the end of the world. Remember that? I remember it was distinct. I had people contacting me saying, Brother Todd, what should I do? Should I sell everything now and get out of here? Because the world's going to end in 2008. They said I should sell it and give it to the church so they can finish the work. You remember that? Remember that? And I was telling people then, I said, don't listen to these people. They conning you. They taking your money. That's all they doing. I was telling them then, Sister 12 Gate, you remember? I was like, don't do it. Don't follow it. It's a con. We need to figure out how dudes had people giving up money so dude can have private planes and stuff, man. And fly talking about finishing the work. Lord. Look, they're gonna con people, they're gonna take your money, man. Tell them. Take your money. So don't think that this money is any good, man, because it's not. You know, just take what you need for now to pay your bills, but the day's gonna come when you're gonna have to give up everything. Okay, it's gonna come down to that. All you're gonna have is the clothes on your back. Look, let me ask you something. Didn't the Israelites have to walk out of Egypt with only what they could carry? And they went right into the wilderness with only what they could carry? And didn't they have to do that? Didn't they have to trust the Most High to provide their food, their water, their sustenance when they were walking through the desert on the way to the promised land? Didn't they? And the Bible tells us it's gonna be like that again. We're not gonna have cars, houses. We're not gonna have bank accounts. All that's gonna be gone. You can have them now. You can have it now, yeah. But the day's gonna come where you're gonna have to decide: am I gonna give this stuff up, or I'm gonna stick with the covenant of the Most High? It's gonna come to that. It's gonna come to that. It's gonna come to that. So here, Nebuchadnezzar, thinking he's God, saying, "Who is that God that could deliver you out of my hand?" He's about to find out. Daniel chapter 3. Daniel chapter 3, from verse 16 down to verse 19. Daniel chapter 3, from verse 16 down to verse 19. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our Most High, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. Let's stop right here. They'll tell you this. You need to think about this. They'll say, you need to think about this really carefully. You're about to go against the government, the world government, and you're about to go against the head of the world government. You're about to go against the most powerful man on the planet. Think about what you're getting ready to do. Because this furnace gets hot, brothers, and y'all get ready to get tossed in there. So think about what you're getting ready to do. And they answered him, look, we're not careful. You see, when they said that, see, brothers and sisters, When you speak before a king, be careful what comes out of your mouth. When you speak before powerful people, you do have to be careful about what comes out of your mouth for many reasons. First of all, not the least of which, especially in Nebuchadnezzar's case, they will kill you. But also, you want to have respect, and you don't want to misrepresent in front of people, in front of the world when you're talking to powerful people, right? But they said we are not careful. In other words, we don't have to think about this. There is nothing to think about. And then to put it further, let's break it down for you. The Most High that we serve, He's able to deliver us from this furnace and from your hand. He's able to do it. And He can deliver us out of your hand. But even if He chooses to let us burn, we are not bowing down to your gods. We're not worshiping any of your. See, they said, notice what they said. They said, we will not serve thy gods. First thing they said, because in Babylon they served astrology, or they had the astrological gods. Like, people like talk about Scorpio and Pisces and Cancer and all that. They had that. The Chaldean, if you look up the word Chaldean in the Hebrew, one of the meanings of Chaldean in the Hebrew is a professional astrologer, like a witch, because that's who Nebuchadnezzar consulted. He was into spirits, And so they worship the stars, they worship the sun god, the moon god, the goddess of fertility, Ishtar. All that was Babylonian. And they also share that with who is Egyptian. Egypt was deep into all that stuff, powerful into all that stuff, to the point when the Greeks came and started and come down into Egypt, they stole all of it. The Greek philosophers didn't create anything. They went and stole that stuff from Egypt. So Nebuchadnezzar worshipped these, and the Hebrews weren't with that. No. We're not worshiping no stars. We're not worshiping no planets. We're not worshiping no Ishtar. We're not following no Easter. We're not following no God of the flocks, no Santa Claus. No. We're not down with All Hallows Eve. No. We're not following that stuff. And we definitely not worshiping your image. No. You don't got to think about it. You burn us, you just burn it. We just burn. Period. We just burn. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. This is not stubbornness. This is not tense, really. What it is faith. What it is really is faith. It's faith in the Most High. It's trust in the Most High. It's trust in His word. It's complete surrender to the Most High, Yah, to His will. People can't do this in and of themselves. It has to be the Spirit of the Most High. Logically, this doesn't make any sense, really, logically, right? You got 3 defenseless people in a foreign land, and they're threatened with death. The natural human tendency is self-preservation. Natural human tendency, self-preservation. So for these people to stand up for an invisible God and say, no, we're not worshiping you. We're keeping the covenant of our invisible Most High Yah. We're staying faithful to His word in the midst of this foreign land, Babylon. And if we die, we die. You have to have developed a relationship. You have to have developed a faith that can move mountains. You have to have developed a faith by trial and forged by steel of trial and tribulation. You have to have developed that over time. This is not something that's just going to suddenly happen. You're just not going to rise to the occasion out of nowhere. You're going to have developed this thing over time. And that's why day by day, we're all being tested and tried one way or the other, right? And we're doing, and sometimes you say, man, what is this? What is happening to me? Why do I keep getting tested like this? Why do I keep getting tried like this? Well, you're going to be thankful when it comes down to it, because you're going to stand firm when it's time to stand firm. You understand? You're going to stand firm when everybody else is going the opposite direction. That's why the Most High's true people will not be found in these denominations, brothers and sisters, because they're going to stand firm to the truth. When they worshiping the Bible, when they worshiping the Most High and the Bible, they're reading the Bible, and the Spirit of the Most High opens their eyes, and they start to see. Wait a minute. Sunday is pagan worship day. We can't keep that. And they stand up in their church, and the church says, "No, you need to get up out of here. Sunday was good enough for our grandfathers, good enough for our great grandfathers. It's gonna be good enough for us. You don't like it, you need to get up out of here." They're gonna be separated. Or they're in the Sabbath keeping, so-called Sabbath keeping church, and they following the church manual instead of the Bible. And they keeping their favorite modern prophets instead of the Bible. And the institution is more important than the Bible. And they start to stand for the Bible and say, no. There's nothing above the Most High Yah. There's nothing above His covenant. No. They're going to say, you need to get up out of here, man. The denomination is more important than you, man. Denomination stood for 200 years. Going to stand with you or without you. You need to get up out of here. So brothers and sisters, standing firm on truth is going to be something in common with the true Hebrew. Standing firm on the truth. Not going to be a lot of us doing it, but we're going to do it. And you gotta have a faith that has been developed through trial. You gotta have a faith that has faced things that looked impossible. You gotta have a faith that has faced things that just it doesn't look good, man. We get ready to lose everything. The bottom getting ready to fall out of life right now, and we gotta stand firm to the truth. Everybody's talking about us. Everybody's against us, and we standing firm for the truth. About to lose everything. You gotta have a faith that stands for that, stands through those trials in order to be like Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. See, these three young men, they came as captives from their homeland. They knew who they were. They came as captives. The names were changed to Babylonian names, and they were in the government. They were made eunuchs. Everything taken from them. But they stood firm for the truth. That's what it's going to take in these last days. That's why the Messiah came. Messiah came to show us his Father's character, to represent his Father, and to be our intercessor, so that through his blood we can have forgiveness of all our sins, Yahweh Shai, all our sins, and we can receive through that forgiveness and that blood that was shed, we can receive of the Father's Spirit. He it is who baptizes with the Holy Ghost. Yochanan said. And when he puts that Spirit on us, we will be faithful to all the truth. Be faithful to the word. We will not bend. And all the trials and tribulations that we have to go through, we'll get through them with flying colors. Oh, we're going to lose stuff. We're going to be hungry sometimes. We're going to be facing some difficult situations. No question. You're going to lose all your friends, all your people. They were friends. You thought they were friends anyway. They're not going to stand with you. You're going to be by yourself. A lot of us going to lose family. Family not going to stand with us either. Neighbor's going to go against you. Everybody going to go. You got to stand through it. And see, the key thing is for the individuals to be so convicted. See, this is the key thing. And that's why the Spirit of the Most High is the key here. Because the Spirit of the Most High Yah convicts the heart that what is true, period, right? So when you get that conviction and you stand on that firm, you know it's true, right? You know it's true. And so it doesn't matter if the rest of the world, all your friends, family, and church, and everybody going against it. If you're convicted that is true, and you're willing to stand for it regardless. That's the type of faith you're going to need. That's what you're going to need to be successful in these last days. And I mean successful in the sight of the Most High, not successful in earth terms, piling up dead presidents. Not talking about that. I'm talking about successful in terms of faith and righteousness and truth. That's success. That's true success. That's success where you can walk and know that your conscience is clear because you have walked according to the truth that has been shown you. According to the truth that you be convicted of the Spirit on. And you have not flinched from that truth. That's freedom right there. That's success right there. That's real success, brothers and sisters. You shall know the truth, And the truth shall make you free, Messiah said. Know the truth. Be acquainted with it. Be intimate with the truth. And the truth shall make you free. Free from what? They asked. We not bondservants, liar. You bondage to Rome right at the moment they was talking. No, but it's going to make you free from sin. Whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. The Messiah answered. So now Nebuchadnezzar is really mad because they would not worship any of his gods. They would not bow to his image, and they were firm. They were firm. They said, we don't have to think about this. It's not even something we need to think about. We don't even need to buy no time. No. We not bow. No. They stood firm. So now he makes the furnace as hot as he can get it, red hot, right? That's what That's when the steel, or that's when the rocks start burning. Everything it's red hot, man. Like you're gonna just disintegrate when you go up in there, right? Let's look at it. Daniel chapter 3 from verse 20, down to verse 23. Daniel chapter 3 from verse 20 down to verse 23. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So now the fire was so hot, the dudes that were commanded to bind them and carry them up and throw them in, they died from the heat, from the fire. They died. That's how hot it was. Okay, they died, and they dumped these guys into the furnace with their clothes and everything, just as it were. He didn't even bother to torture them or do anything else. He wanted them thrown in that fire like right away. Okay, there it was. Daniel chapter 3 from verse 24. From verse 24 down to verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of the Most High. Came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High Yahweh, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. Well, wait a minute. He was astonished. He saw four people. He saw four. Now they were delivered, and he said the fourth is like the Son of God. Now look. How would he know anything about the Son of God? No. How would he know? How would Nebuchadnezzar know anything about Messiah? How would he know anything about the Messiah? How would he know? Do you remember what Daniel told him when he interpreted his dream? He said, there is a God in heaven. See, there's a God in heaven. And if you recall, well, you may not recall, because we didn't get there yet. But Daniel is told about the Mashiach. The Hebrews knew about the Messiah. It was in Deuteronomy when Moses said he's going to raise up a prophet like unto me. He was there. Jeremiah talked about, I'll bring forth my servant who is going to be called Yahweh Asadak, or the Lord our righteousness. It was already kind of talked about already. Ezekiel talked about the prince that should come. These are contemporaries of Daniel and his friends. Okay. So they knew. David said, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou at my right hand till I make thine enemies thy footstool. He knew a Messiah was coming. And being that he was around some faithful Hebrews, 4 of them anyway, he would have heard about this Messiah. He would have heard about it. But you see, this is what people do. When people are searching for truth, right? They're searching and they don't actually see it when it's presented to them right away. They're trying to weigh it. They're trying to compare it to what else they've read, what else they've seen. Nebuchadnezzar been all over the earth. He's seen the gods of Egypt. You see, the Hamites is the ones that created Babylon. So he sees the god of the Hamites that they had in the Egyptian, Mizraim. He sees the ancient gods they had. He'd have been all over the world. So now he's checking out the Hebrew God. And he knows about Jeremiah. He knows about him. Because Jeremiah prophesied both of his rise and his fall. And then when they went to destroy Jerusalem, they made sure he gave orders to the captain of his guard, seek out this prophet Jeremiah, make sure he's okay. Take care of him. Whatever he wants, you give him. But destroy everybody else. That's what they did. So he knew about the Hebrew Messiah. He knew about the Hebrew God. He knew about the Hebrew covenant. So now he knows who's delivering these boys. Messiah. Come down to deliver them. Somebody say, well, you see, when you disrespect the Messiah like a lot of people doing, both Gentiles and Hebrews calling themselves Hebrew, they disrespect the Messiah. Oh, he was just a prophet. No, he wasn't no son of God. He was created. Now you know. He was before he came out of Mary's womb, he existed from everlasting, Micah said. We're going to talk more about that. He was the one that was standing next to Joshua, Yahushua. When Joshua was looking over, they had just crossed over the Jordan, and they were headed toward Jericho. He's looking at the city, wondering what the next move is. And right behind him is a man with his sword drawn. And Joshua was scared, boy. And he said, are you for us or for the enemy? Yahushua, Michael, he answered. He said, nah, as captain of the host of the Most High Yah, am I now come? And he proceeds to give him instruction how they're going to take Jericho. That's in the book of Joshua. He was there. Abraham saw him. Abraham's son said, Father, we got the wood, we got the fire, we got the altar. Where's the lamb for the burnt offering? Abraham said, my son, Yahweh himself will provide a lamb. That's what he said. That's what he said. He said he provided a lamb. Yes, he did. So, Nebuchadnezzar had heard of the Mashiach. They didn't call him Yahushua then. They call him Michael. Mashiach Michael, who is higher than the Most High. Okay? So now, he sees them getting delivered. Daniel chapter 3, from verse 27 down to verse 30. Daniel chapter 3, from verse 27 down to verse 30. Yep, it was the Michael. He said, I'm going to send my angel before you. He's going to go before you. He said, my name is in him. But listen to him, my name is in him. He's not going to put up with your foolishness. My name is in him. That rock that followed them, the Bible says, is Messiah. Daniel chapter 3, from verse 27 down to verse 30. And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the Most High of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any Elohim except their own Elohim. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and languages which speak anything amiss against the Most High of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and the houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other Elohim that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Now here you have a happy ending, right? I mean, it's the beginning of the conversion of Nebuchadnezzar. He sees them delivered. He understands now. He's seen many different religions. He had Chaldeans and astrologers and soothsayers all in his kingdom. He had all these different people, all these spiritualists in his kingdom. Now he knows that there's one above all. It's the one them Hebrews worship, the one Jeremiah was talking about, the one Ezekiel was talking about, the one Daniel was talking about. Now he knows there's one above all. This pagan king found the true Most High. Next time, tomorrow, by the grace of the Most High, when we look at Daniel chapter 4, you're going to see him get converted. This is the beginning of his conversion. This is the beginning.